The following may contain language that is not appropriate for all audiences. You know, small children, people that are easily offended, whatnot. Hello, everyone. Thank you once again for joining us here on the. It's called the Low Fat Podcast, but you know what? I'm at a loss for really kind of describing what we do.
Well, maybe that's the problem. We don't have like a demographic.
I don't think that's necessarily a problem because our demographic is really everybody.
Okay.
It's everyone who wants to use their brains to kind of think about stuff. And, you know, that's an exceedingly difficult thing to do because when you start using your brain to think about stuff, you figure out that a whole lot of stuff is just messed up. And it's really hard to change it. I mean, think about your garden variety protest.
Okay.
There's like 15, 16, 17 groups getting together protesting X. And of those 17 groups, only one group is the one protesting that X. Everybody else is joined in and they've got their signs too to make it seem like there's, you know, a million people worried about X.
Except they're not.
No. Because
So what the fuck are they doing there then?
well, they're scratching their one hand washes the other.
One hand washes the other?
Right, not the otter, which makes it a weird example. I mean, how can one hand wash an otter? Those are real. They are smart, squirrely, cute creatures, cute nonetheless, but they seem really squirrely.
One hand can't wash another.
Just like one hand just like you can't wash one hand with the hand.
Oh, dude, you're tripping me out.
Maybe it's the coffee.
You sure you're not on something?
I wish I were. But that's the weird thing about a lot of the political things because maybe it's because the group is not very big. So it needs to get up numbers to be listened to, right? No one's going to listen to me because I'm a small time individual and no one really thinks like me. But if I've got a grievance and I'm a demographic of one, then it really would help me if I want to get my grievance heard to get all these other demographics of 1 or 2 or 10 or 20 together to protest with me. In which case, you know,
Do you think that could happen?
it does happen.
It does?
Yeah.
One person.
Okay, it might be a little bit bigger than one, but yeah.
And how the hell does that happen? How do you get buy-in like that? This is just I don't know.
Well, if you've got
I know what I'm saying.
if you've got a bunch of small demographics,
Right.
then they kind of know that. Okay, let's say I've got a bunch of small demographics, of no more than 1,000 people.
Okay. That's pretty small.
Nationally.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let's say I've got a thing that nationally.
There's 1,000 people interested in this issue?
Let's say 10,000.
All right.
10,000 people out of 330 or 300 plus million.
Right.
If I go out and protest, there's only 10,000 of people, like-minded people, spread out over 50 states.
Yeah, so there's not going to be a whole lot of people at your protest.
Right. But there's probably several demographics of small issues.
Right. Okay.
And, you know, let's say that each one of those like 10, 20,000 people.
Right. Well, then you're going to get a bigger demonstration.
If I reach out to everybody and everybody's like, okay, well, if I come to your demonstration, you got to come to mine. Or that's kind of like the backroom deal, right?
Right.
And so then all of a sudden I've got a march of 500,000 people.
Yeah.
Holy shit, this is really important. We need to start listening to that. And that's how that happens.
Wow. And then all of a sudden it's an issue that everyone's like, oh, this is a real issue.
No, not everyone. But this is an issue. Then it becomes an issue that more people will kind of look at. See, when it was only 10,000 people protesting about it or demonstrating about it, but now there's 1 million people. Wow.
If what you're saying is correct, then that's not really 1 million people or 500,000 people.
No, it's really not.
That's crazy.
And I think that a lot. That's really kind of starting, or that's the way the organizing happens. I'm not a community activist or organizer, nor did I take any classes or was involved in any of this stuff.
It kind of makes sense. I mean, the psychology of it makes sense.
But that's where you get like really small groups getting outsized support.
Huh.
I don't want to really say fringe because...
Well, it would be a fringe issue if it's just like 10,000 people.
I don't like the word... I don't like a lot of words as being used because a lot of our stuff is a lot of what's going on in language is really messed up. Things don't mean what... There's not one definition for a lot of stuff.
Well, fringe has all sorts of connotations.
Well, case in point, everyone can agree that racism is not very good.
Yes.
But I don't think that people have the same definition for racism. The only thing that anyone can agree on is that racism, no bueno.
Yeah, no one really defines racism.
And, you know...
They just talk about the negatives of it.
But again... There's not one set of negatives. Racism, equality. I mean, what have you? Language has been really manipulated, messed up. I've run out of
M's.
I've run out of M's, but I've just run out of things to say about it. But to the point where I don't even know what we're talking about, and please don't look down and say, "Oh, this is what you were talking about."
Washing the otter.
I think it would be cool if one hand could wash an otter. Not only are they cute frickin' creatures, but if you could domesticate an otter, man, that would be like the greatest pet in the world.
It would be.
But then you'd need like a body of water.
Yeah, it would just have to hang out in your bath all the time.
Or you could have a little kiddie pool.
Just reminds me, is it a Geico commercial? What is the commercial with the sea otters?
I don't know, but
that's where my brain is gone. It's gone.
It's debatable of whether or not it was really here in the first place.
It's over.
But shoot, I don't even think that we discussed the topic that I'd even written down.
I just wrote one hand washing the otter.
Yeah, that wasn't the topic that I was going to go to. And
do you want to go to the topic now?
Nah, because I just erased it.
It's over.
And we've talked for a bit. And if you're listening to us on your drive to wherever, which is the best place to listen to us, you have just gotten 8 minutes closer to your destination.
Thanks for tuning in.
All right, thanks for tuning in to Low Fat Podcast. You can find us on YouTube. Just search Low Fact. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Low Fat Podcast. If you want to chat to us, send us some comments, or have us talk about some things, just send an email to lowfatpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow us on our Twitter and Instagram pages at Low Fat Podcast, and also check out Andy's pages where he mixes our beats, Twitter and Instagram at A Fantasy Beat, and you can also find his wicked ass shit on SoundCloud at Artificial Fantasy.